Someone's having a drink in the background.
Oh yes, welcome back to Lindy Vanna / Sprinter van conversions, everybody. I'm not sure what we are going to be calling the channel by the time this video goes out. But yeah, let's go with both just to cover all the bases. It's been a while since we've been on here, so it's good to be back on YouTube. We have sold our 4x4 truck, and now we have got
A Sprinter van again.
oh,
there's the dog.
There's Basie.
Someone wants to be part of this video.
Yeah. Anyway, before we go any further, let's introduce you to the van. Okay, so this is our 2015 medium wheelbase white Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Some of the bodywork, there's a couple of little dents here and there, but nothing like some of the heaps of rust you see on eBay and Auto Trader. So yeah, really happy with the van. But yeah, classic medium wheelbase Sprinter, as we always go for. It seems to be tried and tested for us. We love the size. It's easy to drive, easy to park, and easy to convert. Right, let's show you some of the features on the inside of the van. Are you enjoying yourselves?
They were literally sleeping under the van the whole time. The minute we start filming, they're having a massive play session. Classic.
We are actually in Portland this weekend. It's been a while since we've been here, so it's really nice to be back. As you can see, the sea is just there, and there's not really anyone else here. We're at this tiny little campsite, which is £15 a night. We stayed there for 2 nights, and yeah, it's lovely. It's got toilets and bins, and yeah, we don't need anything else, so perfect for us.
All right, so into the inside. Oh, I need to get back into the mode. Here's a dog who wants some water. Let's just have a little water break for him. They are a little bit attention seeking. Anytime you're on a phone call, they'll be like, oh, I need to be part of this. Well done. Yeah, so we have 2 dogs now. So I think each van we did little upgrades. So I feel like now we have even more upgrades for the dogs. And they love being in the shade. So into the main space, now we have it into the full sort of camping mode where we have the chairs that have been turned around. So whenever we're parked up for a bit longer time, it's really nice to have the chairs, and dogs love using it as well because they get to see what's going on. They get to see all the way around. Sometimes they sit in their bed, sometimes they're on the seats. They love it. The seats turn around. We've done it in a few vans, and I think it's like one of the best features, especially when we have friends over. Just maximizes the space, and as with all our vans, every little centimetre, every little inch counts.
Also down here, we've got our diesel heater outlet, and that little black dot is just a switch to switch on and off the light that is under there. So yeah, it's complete daylight now. It's probably the brightest day of the year, but you get the idea. And then also down here, there's a little spotlight, which I put in before I put in that strip light underneath there. That's really quite redundant now, and it's not very pleasant when you're sat here where I am right now on the sofa and you can see that blinding spotlight. But hey, it's easy to switch on when you open the sliding door at night. So
most of the vans, they will come with this like bulkhead when you just buy them as a cargo van, and it won't have the shelf inbuilt. So each van, we build the shelf right above these sort of handles. So again, to maximize any sort of storage available in the van. And these 2 sort of little walls help just to sort of things stop from falling out when we're driving. And it also gives a useful space for like putting, we've got a couple of hooks. I think they're from Lithuania actually, I can't remember. I think they used to be in my old bedroom, and when my parents refurbished, we just grabbed them. It's a bit of a random feature, but I quite like it. Then a must-have is fire extinguisher. So here again we have the solar panel controller. That's what I'm gonna talk about more. And then we have the diesel heater controller here, which obviously we're not using right now. But there's a nice upgrade there that Sam's gonna talk about, which is really fun. In the kitchen area, same as the previous 5 vans, however many. Again, slight tweaks in the terms of how deep it is, but we just use a standard 1200 IKEA kitchen unit. And then we have the sink. The sink is got domestic tap and domestic sink bowl, and then it's operated by a foot switch, which is quite handy because you can just use, you know, just as little water as you need, and you're not just sort of running all your water reserves out. We have 2 burner gas hob on top of the kitchen, and the gas storage is just here in the cupboard, which we'll show you in a minute. The rest of the kitchen is pretty standard. We have a drawer for the cutlery, and it's a little bit messy, don't judge please, but it's, yeah, it fits everything in there. Underneath here we have some shelving, which we use for our pots and pans, can of beans, and all those kind of things. To be honest, it's not used at its full capacity. We can definitely fit more things, and I think maybe next trip we'll put some baskets or something that it just makes it a bit more efficient. Left side of the kitchen cabinet we have our porta potty stored in here, which we just slide it out, put it in the sort of in the van space, and when we finish we just put it back in there. We found that this is a good spot for it because it's securely sort of closed in with a door shut. We had this in other locations before, and I think you don't want to risk that thing sort of sliding in and out. And not that it's ever happened to us, but I think we had some close calls when it sort of flipped to the side. Luckily it wasn't too full, so nothing too bad happened. And also super mega useful, we have magnets to all of the door latches, because again, when you drive, like no matter what kind of driver you are, like you don't even, like I don't think we even drive any that crazy, but sometimes if you stop or you're turning on a sort of, you know, sharp bend of the road, things do open and the doors open and the drawer slides out quite easily. So if I was just trying to like, okay, that was a little bit too easy, but normally like it takes a little bit of effort to open the drawer because yeah, we've got those magnets which really help. Kitchen above we have a shelf, which again needs to be sort of certain height so it doesn't get too hot with the hob. It's got LED strip light underneath, which looks lovely in the evening, which you can't see right now. We have cups and mugs and all the sort of kitchen-y bits in there. Again, some vans before we had closed cabinets, which is really handy because you can sort of pack in more things in there. But again, it has that open feel, which I also quite like in there.
I think the plan is at some stage to
close it off.
Yeah, because going around corners with mugs and stuff is a bit scary.
Definitely. Electrical bits I'll leave for a bit later on. We have a couple shelves here, again, for storage. Underneath we have a fridge, which is what, 12-volt fridge? It's just like a chest type of box fridge, which we much prefer compared to the sort of typical opening fridges. Even though those might be easier to see what's inside, but this one just preserves the cold, sort of the cold doesn't fall out every time you open the door. And it's got a little ice tray with ice cubes in it, which is really, really handy. Here's the ice cubes in there. Oh, hang on. Ooh. Nothing to see here. And welcome to our living area / bedroom, which is not that far from the kitchen. This is where we spend probably the most time when we're in the van, on the sofa, and 100% recommend having some sort of fixed seating that you can use that doesn't require sort of things to be moved around, if that makes sense. Underneath is where dogs love to hang out. Mainly Basie loves to just hang out under the sofa. Welcome to the bedroom area, which is not very far from the living area. Yeah, everything is very close to the van. Bedroom area, definitely one of the best improvements from the first van is to have a standard double mattress. Again, this is just a standard mattress that you would have in your house, so both of us fit really comfortably. I'm 5'3" and Sam is, are you 5'8", 6 foot? What foot are you?
How long have we been together?
I'm just not very good with the feet. I'm good with centimeters. You're 180 centimeters.
No, I'm not.
185.
No.
How tall is my husband?
I'm 183 centimeters tall.
Okay, I
Which is
literally was
6 foot.
within the 5 cent. Okay,
6 foot, not 5'8", thank you.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Sam is 6 foot, proudly 6 foot. Okay, now we settled this debate about how tall whoever is. I know this is a debate because a big question, I think, with a lot of people that are converting the vans is like, do we sleep lengthways? Do we sleep widthways and add the pods? And like, how do we sleep? What's the best arrangement? And we have done vans where we sleep lengthways, which is fine, but we found that, again, to have the most open plan layout and still to have a double mattress, this is definitely the best arrangement for us. To have the pods, sleep this way. I usually sleep on that side. Sam sleeps on this side because I think there's a little bit more leg room on this side. Is it true?
It is pretty consistent front to back, but at the back we have, I don't know if you guys can see that little bit of metal work.
It's this bit.
Yeah, that bit.
Yeah.
So it's a bit longer at this side just because there isn't any sort of encroachment on the mattress. But
Yeah, so other bits in the bedroom, it's not that many, but we have a handy little mirror on this handle. I think it's like a bathroom mirror. This time we chose black fittings just to go with the rest of little accessories. Like we've got these lights and they're sort of touch activated. Couple little baskets where we keep our books, the earplugs, eye masks, any sort of things like that. On the other side of the bedroom, we have our clothes storage, which just flips up like this. Again, slight mess in here, but we just shove everything in there. And again, we kind of have to travel fairly light. You know, we don't have that many clothes when we go traveling. So one cupboard each is just more than enough. And we were just saying earlier today how good is to have a bit of sort of airy material or fabric separating the cupboard, so it's, you know, just keeps everything sort of fresh and not stodgy and moldy. You know, don't want any mold in the van. Another little trick that we have, I don't know, however you do your design, there's always going to be a little bit of a gap where you have your rear doors and your mattress. So we got this 6 foot, no, 5 foot. This little noodle pillow.
6 foot. And it wedges in there, yeah.
So we wedge it in to the back doors because, especially in the winter, I find there's like a bit of a breeze coming from the garage and it's just a bit cold, especially if you have, not in this one, but some vans you have exposed metal sections, so it's just a bit cold to touch the door, and it just helps, you know, preventing any like phones or books like slipping down to the garage, because then you have to go all the way around to go and retrieve it, which is very annoying. And just to finish it off, on the rear doors we have just some nice thermal blackout curtains, so we close those for when we go to sleep, and it just makes it all nice and lovely and cozy here in the van.
But yeah, as Gabs mentioned, we've got our battery monitor and the Chinese diesel heater controller. This isn't actually the solar charge controller, this is the battery monitor. It's a Victron battery monitor that we've never had in a van before. It's one of the upgrades we've done in this one, and I'm super happy with it. It tells you how many amps the solar batteries are charging, the solar panels are charging the batteries. It shows you how many amps the batteries are having drawn from them, and it shows you the percentage of how full they are. Really handy bit of kit. Can't believe I've not had it before. We'll definitely have it in every van going forward. And behind there, just behind this on the shelf, is our little fuse board. We've got a little 6-way fuse board. That's the fuses for the internal lights, the fuse for the ceiling fan, and all of the other bits that we have in here fits on a handy dandy little 6-way fuse board. Another thing here in the front that we didn't talk about is we've got these blackout curtains, and we've got these blackout curtains between the cab and the back area, but we also have a set of curtains to go around all of the front windows if we want to leave these open, you know, at night time and have some privacy just to sit in there and read or whatever. One upgrade I am going to do in this area is to mount some sort of ceiling light on the underneath of this shelf, because unfortunately, even though the lighting in here is really nice, lighting in here when you have the curtains on and stuff, it's it's pretty dim. So yeah, that's one upgrade I am going to do at some point. But the curtains are fantastic, and they're pretty thermal as well. We've had them in all the vans, and they're the perfect height down to the step. I build the step like that because the curtains come at this length, so I build the step so it sort of fits like that. And yeah, as I said, we've got a fan in the roof here. We usually have this unit about there, mounted about there in the van because of where the structural ribs are in the van. But we've got huge solar panels on the roof of this van. We had to move the fan from there to there, but still it extracts, it blows, as all of the other fans have. Yeah, just 40 by 40 Fiamma fan. It works really, really well. What else do I need to talk about here? And also over here, Gab's touched on it, but we've got two switches. One for this light underneath the shelf, which is just here. And then this switch just here turns on and off the 12-volt socket and the USBs that we have here. Two fast USB chargers. So we've just got our little handy-dandy fairy lights plugged into one of the USB sockets at the moment. So that's pretty much on all of the time. And we've also got this 12-volt oscillating fan, which we've not had to use on this trip, but it's just good to have it just in case we need it. And then if we need it, we can just pull it down, plug it in, and then we've got nice breeze of fresh air. So as Gab's mentioned, we have got this rotating front double seat base, which is really worthwhile, and it's also crash tested. So yeah, obviously it's going to be Gab's, all the dogs sitting in that seat, so I wanted to make sure it's proper safe. This one is, I got it from a company called Custom Design Shops or something on eBay, and we've had 3 different types of swivel base in the past, and this is by far the best one that we've ever installed. It's got 4 little quarter turn bolts in it, and underneath houses the batteries and electrical bits. Okay, so underneath here you can see we've got our 2 100 amp hour batteries. We haven't gone lithium in this van because we wanted to upgrade the solar first before we think about lithium, and to be honest, the way that we're going at the moment this year, this has been absolutely enough, absolutely fine. They are connected to a split charge relay which charges the batteries when the engine's running, and then also we have our new Victron MPPT charge controller. We've not had one of those before, we've had a PWM one before. And this, I was really skeptical about the hype of Victron stuff, but really it is so good. I would never not have one of these charge controllers again, especially working in unison with the battery monitor. It's a fantastic setup. And then in the bottom there we have our Chinese diesel heater, which is plumbed into the diesel tank of the van. And yeah, as we showed, the switch for that is up inside the living area of the van. So that all stays there when we rotate the seat. And these are the little quarter turn bolts, 4 of them, and then the seat rotates, and we've got our extra bit of seating in the back of the van. Okay, cool. Right, let's go from the main part of the camper into the back, and I can show you our sort of garage area / storage underneath the bed. Okay, so here we are at the back of the van. You can see, obviously we can have the back doors open, be laying in a bed, absorbing the beautiful view as it is today. But underneath the bed, we have so much storage space. It's where our full water tanks are housed. There's 4 25-litre tanks, and it's all plumbed into a 12-volt water pump. What are you doing, puppies? And then also in here we have our very primitive shower. We've got an extendable sprung-loaded shower hole that we've had in previous vans. We can undo that and then extend it between the doors, and then do it up and hang a shower curtain off of this, and then have a shower at the back of the van. And all we've got is a little 12-volt plug-in submersible shower, and we have a 12-volt socket here which we turn on like that, and then we can fill this with warm water and have a shower here at the back of the van. We've done that in the last couple of vans and it's worked really well. So we've not actually used the shower in this van yet, but it's tried and tested. We've had it in the other vans. So yeah, if we need it, we can do it. And then also in the back here, we have our 3 meter by 3 meter gazebo. Gabby will talk a bit more about that in a minute, but basically we don't have an awning on this van. If we want some covered outside space, then we just use that, much cheaper than like a £700 awning. So yeah, and then we also have, if we ever need it, I've only ever used this once last winter with the old van in Lithuania, but this is a portable electric hookup. It's got an RCD and a 16 amp MCB on it for our 3-pin UK plugs, and that plugs into indoors somewhere, and then we can plug our battery charger into that. Yeah, it's a bit of a makeshift electric hookup, but it saves, you know, cutting a hole in the side of the van. We hardly ever use it, so we just put the cable through the door and shut the door, and yeah, so far so good. All of the walls are insulated with recycled plastic bottles and then carpeted over the top of the cladding on the walls, the wheel arches, and then obviously the ceiling and walls are clad in ply, painted white ply, and the inside of the flares are just yeah, carpeted as well. So everything's insulated, either carpeted or clad. Yeah, it's really efficient. It stays really warm in the winter and really cool in the summer. Anyway, let's go to the side of the van.
So our outside setup is pretty simple. Generally, we just use a little windbreaker just to sort of have a little area for the seats and a little table. I love having breakfast and a cup of coffee there in the mornings when we're camping out. Outside, we also have our ramps, which you can see we're propped up our front left and our rear left. This is because this particular spot is pretty slopey, and to be honest, 90% of the time we're, you know, parked somewhere where there's a little bit uneven ground. So it really helps to have you know, the ramps to adjust. The way we test if we're level is quite funny. I used to have an actual level, but we just use a can of beans. I can't remember, was it Reese and Amy that told us this trick, the can of beans trick?
I can't remember.
Whoever it was, we just, once we parked up, Sam usually goes up on the ramps, I'm outside saying, yeah, you're almost there, go a little bit more, a little bit less, whatever. And then we place a can of beans on the kitchen worktop and check which direction it rolls. It's like, oh yeah, we need to prop the front a little bit more, or the rear, or whatever. And the last little final addition, we have our 7 meter tall flagpole.
You know the height of that then?
It says there, there's a label. I just read it literally before I said it. We have our flagpole just to, you know, get into our van life / festival vibe mood. We have a little Lithuanian and a little UK flag just to represent us both and little Aptelis family household.
Yeah, the reason behind the flag was actually, we recently went to Love Supreme, which is a music festival, jazz festival, and in the campsite everyone had these flags, and I thought, why has everyone got a flag? I know it's a thing to do when you have a camper van, but I didn't understand the sense in it until we went to the main arena to go and watch the music, and then come back to the campsite and try and find our van. Then I realised why people have flags. So
easier to find.
Easier to find
if you're
where
camping.
we're parked. Yeah. Just lastly, on the outside of the van, we put in this opening We put in this opening window in the sliding door in the side, just bonded in, and we've got 2 windows in the back doors as well. But unfortunately, these windows don't open. And one of my regrets was rushing to do the windows in this, because I cut the hole for the sliding door window, cut the holes for both of the flares, and I cut the back window holes. So I had to put them in there and then. In future, I want to have one solid glass like this and one with an opening in it, to have an opening window so I can get a draft through from the very back across the bed and out the front of the van through the fan. But apart from that, the only other thing we've done on the outside is put the flares on. So that gives us 6'7" internal distance from the inside of one flare to the other one. There's this shallower one on this side because of the sliding door. And on this side of the van, we have this one, which is about 5 inches deep, which gives, most of the extra legroom. And then we've got our handy dandy South Coast sticker because we live in Brighton and that's on the South Coast. So yeah, the 2 flares and the windows in the back doors, the window and the sliding door, they're pretty much the only mods that we've done to the outside of the van, apart from the tyres and the black wheels, as I mentioned before. But I think that's about it in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found any of it interesting or useful, let us know which bits you enjoyed in the comment section below.
Also, if you want to see any sort of specific details or, videos of how we built the van, we have quite a lot on our Instagram account. So if you go on our profile, you'll see these little archive, little bubbles saved at the top of each of the van conversions. So if anything you want to know about insulation or the cladding or how we built a kitchen, water system, etc., feel free to go into our Instagram or send us a message.
Just to clarify, that is our Sprinter Van Conversions Instagram account, not our Lindy Vanner account. The Sprinter Van Conversions account is just purely about van builds. So if you want to know any more details, like Gab said, go and check out that account. But also check out Lindy Vanner. That's where we're going to be posting regularly from now on, I think, when we go on some van adventures. We've obviously been here in Portland this weekend. In a couple of weeks, we're going to Van Life Eats Festival, which we're really excited about. And a couple of weeks after that, we're going to Nighthawks Swing Dance Weekend. So hopefully we will get the camera out and show you guys a bit around those places over on the Lindy Vanner Instagram account. In the meantime, on the YouTube channel, I'm going to keep it to Sprinter Van stuff. I'm going to have 5 things I love about Sprinter Van and 5 things I hate about Sprinter Van videos coming up soon. Apart from that, if there's anything else you'd like to know, let us know.
And there's a dog. Hi, doggy. Hi,
Do you want to say goodbye, Basie?
Do you want to say goodbye? Billy, are we going to do a little jump? Should we show a little trick?
Okay.
Billy, sit.
Here's a little trick.
Sit. Billy, up, 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 up.
Yay! And with that, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye, everybody. Nice to meet you. Oh, dog number 2 wants to play.
Goodbye, Basie.